Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Dan4649, and he is going to be streaming Mischief Makers for us, a old game that I've really enjoyed. So we have no incentives for this, but we do need more donations for other incentives. It would be wonderful to have that for us, folks. Pixels for people really helps out. So Dan, with that, please take it away.
All right, I'm Dan. I'm going to be running Mischief Makers, and I'm ready to go whenever. So if we're ready, I can just go ahead and go at it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So it's going to start with a bit of an opening cutscene with the professor getting kidnapped. So while that's happening, I'm going to start out by talking a little bit about the movement in this game. So it's a pretty typical platformer, just moving left and right, but you also have a dash and a jump. And the dash jump works sort of in a similar vein to something like Mega Man X, where you hold down and press A to dash, and if you press it again while you're dashing, you'll do a jump. And you can vary those timings with the slide and the jump to basically you can slide longer or shorter, and you can jump higher or lower, and that sort of helps you get around the kind of awkward geometry of this game. There's a lot of like really weird spots that are kind of hostile to platforming, but anyways, you also have the C buttons, which will be your dash moves, and you can combine the dash with the jumps, and you also have a B to grab. And by doing dashes and then pressing B, you can actually cancel the dashes, and you can chain those to get to places you're not supposed to be. So for example, in this stage, you're supposed to sort of go over to the end and grab a bomb, but if you do some dash cancels there, you can just get straight to the top without unlocking the warp gate to get up there. This stage is a good example of like varying timings of the dashes and the jumps, so like with ceilings there, you sort of want to dash a little bit lower and jump a little bit lower. So the third stage introduces the grab mechanic, so you want to grab these balls and shake them. You shake by dashing down while you're grabbing something. And so... Oh. Sorry, I had to focus a little bit there to make sure I got to that one a little bit quickly. That was a very good clam ball land. So yeah, lots of things you just need to shake once to sort of unlock things, but then there's other stuff that you want to shake a lot. This stage has a very nice tight gap for me to get through. Nice. You also have a bit of a roll that you can do by tapping down on the D-pad, so I just use that there to get under that little spike ball. Alright. This stage shows off a little bit more of the grab mechanic, so you have grabs and you can also throw the enemies, so I'll be using throws here to get these guys to their home a little bit quicker. The gimmick of this stage is that they have these 3 kids that you're basically rounding up for them. That was solid there. Okay, moving on to 1-6. So this stage is a bit different. This guy transforms and we're going to grab him, and using our dash and our D-pad, we have to actually tap to a rhythm. So it might seem like you just want to mash as fast as possible here, but if you mash really fast, you actually miss the windows for movement here. It's very awkward actually, especially on console where it lags a lot. Right here, I'm going to delay just a little bit to squeeze through the bombs there. You'll see I got hit by that one. But if you time it right, you can just miss those bombs just barely. This next stage is the worm fight, so this guy has a really strange hitbox. But if I time it just right, I can use this clancer here, and I can... Nice. So that's the instant kill there. If you throw him up and you get a really janky hitbox and they just sort of bounce inside of each other's hitboxes and he dies, takes basically a bunch of hits right away. The next stage is a Crisis Neptune, and the big thing of this stage is you just get waves of these evil Clancers. So what I do is I position myself in a specific way that I can get them right when they jump in, and then I grab the last one and turn around and let the small guy punch him. And that's sort of the quickest way to get through each phase of them. So that was pretty good. You'll see underneath me there's a couple of different gems. The red gems are just used for, they're basically your lives. Blue and green gems heal you, and then the gold gems are used for story progression basically. Another little boost cancel here to get up there without having to grab the gun and break a bunch of blocks. It's important that I let this guy bounce 3 times there to get the quickest kill. I'm going to boost up here to get past this wall. That's actually a pretty hard boost right there because when you have items, you can't boost cancel because obviously you can't press the B button without dropping or throwing the item. So you have to use a bit more precise options. That stage is just really important not to get stuck under any platforms because there are falling rocks that if you get stuck, they will beat you up. This stage introduces the true final boss of the game, ceilings. Ceilings are really awkward, and if you hit them, they basically stop all your momentum, so you try to just barely get under them there with longer dashes and shorter jumps, but it's pretty precise. I might be a little late here. I'm trying to make a cycle at the end of this part. Okay. So I made that cycle, which is nice. If you don't make that, it becomes a bit of a nightmare because they start firing off pretty randomly. So I'm abusing a bit of another mechanic here in this stage where if you boost next to a wall, you'll get extra height. So it allows me to sort of skip. Oops. Okay. The way you're meant to do this stage is to destroy those blocks, and then you shake a clan ball and it sort of resets the stage. So you destroy the blocks and then you reset and you use them to climb up. But with the magic of boost canceling, we can just sort of skip all of that. This next stage introduces down clipping, so there are full-size blocks, and then there are half blocks. And when there are half blocks, you can actually clip through them. The way you do that is by jumping, boosting down, and then grabbing with a precise rhythm. So that was pretty good. It was third try. Usually I try to get it within 2, but and that's a good example of just varying your dashes there. I do a long dash there just so I can get under the part before I jump back up. I think I'm going to be late to the cycle here. I want to grab this guy, but I'm going to be a little late, so I'll just boost through. If you grab that rope, you can do dashes, and you can sort of get this weird swing that makes you go really fast. Flamby is an interesting mini-boss. He can do a couple of different patterns. This is the easiest one, although I missed it. So if you mess it up, you can grab him and drive him backwards, but miss that up a little bit. The important thing, though, is just to make sure that you grab him at the edge so you can throw him in the lava, because he takes a lot of damage. And you'll notice at the end of a lot of stages, I'll do a little dance every time the star spawns, but since I have lava here, I can fall in the lava when that's supposed to happen, and it just skips that dance cutscene. Saves it a little bit of time. It should be important to mention that when you're doing these boost cancels, you can actually do them with different timings. So the faster you cancel after doing a boost with the grab, the more horizontal speed you'll keep up. but you won't get as much height. So if you wait longer to cancel the boost, you can get more height, but you lose more speed. So it's basically a trade-off of whichever one you want more at the time. So I got through those blocks a little bit faster by dropping instead of throwing. If you're not holding any direction when you press B when you're holding an object, you'll just drop it instead of throwing it. And that can be a little bit faster in situations like that where I want to grab the next block quickly. It was a pretty good free fall. This stage has a bunch of elevators that you're supposed to ride, but I'm going to be making quick work of it. If I do this just right, you can grab that on the way over, but if you miss it, you can just boost backwards and grab the gate again. That was still a pretty good time. The big thing in this stage is springs. So there's a mechanic with the springs where if you jump and throw at the same time that the spring launches you, you can get a crazy amount of height. So I basically skipped the second half of the stage there by doing a spring super jump. You're basically stacking the momentum of jumping and throwing on top of that. Oh, I messed that up a little bit? That's fine. Okay. That's not too bad. So now that I've taken care of the smaller Megan, this guy's going to start throwing punches. So you want to catch the punches as early as possible, and then he'll do a dizzy punch. I went off stage there to try to skip that fireball cycle, but I think I was a bit late. So you'll see his eyes go a little weird when he does that. See, so just like that, you can skip that little fireball phase. He does that on the second and the third phase of his punches. The third phase he'll go into a flamethrower, so there's not really anything you can do. And then I'm gonna clip through the floor here and take a little bit of damage. On each major boss in the game, you get the golden gem for that stage by not taking any damage on the boss fight. So it's important to take damage there so that you don't get the gold gem cutscene at the end of the stage, which wastes a couple of seconds. Yeah. Stop hitting yourself, exactly. Importantly, he can waste as much of my time as he wants here. It's completely random as far as I know. Okay, and that's the Megan's done. So we're through the first two worlds of the game. So now the game's going to introduce some new characters. The Beast Hectors, which are really funny characters in this game. They're basically like heroes of justice that the evil emperor is brainwashing to do his evil work. So basically he's telling them that the story of this game is that we are come to this planet of Clancers on like a vacation, and we ended up liberating them sort of from those Megan brothers that we just fought. And the evil emperor will like say that we actually came to take over the planet and we're bullying all the Clancers. And so each of the next worlds is basically going to be one for each of the Beast Hectors. And you fight each of them twice in each world. So the first fight is sort of like just a regular fight, you versus them. And then the second fight, they will be with their little mech. So you fight them with a mech. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the final boss of the third world, Lunar here. Because there's some important stuff with his second fight. Most of the fights you just sort of do regularly but fast, but his is a little bit special. And it's just sort of a goofy back and forth with the main villain and these guys, because they're dead set on taking you down because they're heroes of justice, so they're trying to take me down because I'm the evil one apparently. But the main evil guy's main objective is just to like kidnap the professor that made you. And so they're sort of butting heads over that the entire game. He even says at one point, like, it's their thirst for justice that blinds them like this. It's really complicated. Ah, yes, the very real professor, not a decoy. In case it wasn't abundantly obviously at this point, this game is very not serious. It's a lot of fun, though. I highly recommend it.
That love letter, though, so beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that that's like she like thinks it's a love letter, but it's actually like a ransom note or whatever. Okay.
Correct.
So this stage introduced you to clan pots. So you're meant to like collect stuff to make a bomb here. But with some precise maneuvering, you can actually damage boost over this wall. Okay, I'm not gonna make it. I did make it up there. That's what happens when you miss boost cancels. So basically, you can collect these items in these pots that they give you, and then you shake the pots and it'll transform them into other items, but we just sort of avoid that. We will use the clan pots a little bit later, but we don't need them just yet. So the next stage coming up, while I do this fairly simple boss fight, is Missile Surf. So the idea of Missile Surf is that there's a missile that you ride, and you tilt it up and down by moving back and forth on it. And you're meant to ride it all the way to the end of the stage, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a setup at the very start of the stage to get it at just the right height and angle. And then I'm going to hopefully not mess up. Very nice. So that allows me to basically skip the whole missile surfing segment just by angling it just right so that it doesn't collide with anything until I'm just about to finish the stage. Nifty little damage boost here. Okay. That's fine. A little bit of a sloppy stage, but it's no big deal. Those horns you just heard just mean I collected a gold gem. This is one stage that's the same in any percent or 100% because the gold gem's just right there.
Alright, well, we just got a donation from Lena Kitty.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Let's get hard mode Bucky. So she put that $20 towards Bucky O'Hare upgrade to hard mode. Do remember, folks, we have donations incentives for things like that, along with the game coming up, Ultimate 3, Exodus, Kill Lord British.
Thank you, thank you. So this guy spawns two different types of clancers, big ones and small ones. Small ones don't do very much damage. The big ones are kind of annoying though because you have to throw to get over them, whereas the small ones you can just sort of throw stuff. So you try to grab as many big ones as you can and hope that there aren't any other big ones in the way. I was standing in the wrong spot. Classic. Chili Dog, you can combo this boss by throwing him straight down and then drifting to the side and grabbing down right. It's not too precise, but you can mess it up, so it's nice to get it there. Snowstorm Maze is a interesting stage. It's about getting things to their home. So we're gonna put that in its parking spot there. This guy in his parking spot here. One more downward clip here. First try, very nice. So this is the clan pot, so we're going to catch these guys here. It can be a bit annoying with the hitbox, but that's not too bad. I'm going to place this pot right up against the wall, which allows me to stand on top of it without getting knocked off. Because you do get a little bit of a backwards bump when you drop them. So that just allows me to pick them out of the pot and drop them quicker in that little half pipe there, which is where they want to be. So this is the first lunar fight. This one's pretty straightforward. You just sort of want to grab him and throw him down. There is one attack he can do which can save you time, which is this one, if you don't mess it up. If you do grab him on that and throw him into his own grenades, it'll do extra damage. But that's really the only thing that can really go different in this fight. Other than that, it's just pretty standard. Just wait till his invulnerability runs out and then grab him and throw him down. Don't sleep there, you'll catch it cold. So, this is another stage where you want to do a little bit of a longer dash there so you don't get caught like I did there. So we're about to go into a little bit of a goofy segment called the festival. So the theme of this world is that they kidnap the professor and they use him as a prize for the festival. So we're going to come here and we're going to basically offer to join one of the teams as long as we can take the prize. And the guy's like, sure, nobody wants the prize anyways, which is just like really fun. It turns out there's just like these sort of like otaku clancers that want the prize. So there's a couple different segments in this. The first one is going to be the 100-meter dash. So these first 3 races are a little bit unique in that usually when we're dashing in this game, we're using the C-stick buttons. But there are certain scenarios where you can also get dashes by double tapping the D-pad. And it's a little bit faster of a dash compared to the C-stick buttons, but usually you don't do it just because it's so input intensive and you're usually doing other things like holding up for the boost cancel so that you can get height. But in this scenario, you pretty much have to use the D-pad. It's also really useful for anytime you need to shake a clan pot, or there's one boss later that you have to shake like a clan pot. Basically, anytime you're holding an item and you want to shake it, it's actually faster if you're doing multiple shakes to use the D-pad. If you use the C-stick, it'll cap the speed that you can shake stuff at.
I still think it's unfair she has an afterburner on her back to make her win.
Yeah. There's a lot of cheating. Cheating is the name of the game in this world. There will be a game at Dodgeball after the festival is over that I play very fair and square in. And this actually isn't mash so much as it's a rhythmical tap. You do have to tap pretty fast, but just tapping as fast as you can won't get you the same results as tapping at the correct rhythm. This is actually a really annoying stage in the old gold gems category, because the gold gem for this stage involves getting a sub 11 in the 100 meter, which is quite difficult. I do not have the reaction times at 30 years old to do that precisely. So the 400 meter, we're actually going to scratch it. It's faster to scratch it 3 times than it is to complete it, so we just scratch it and take the point loss. As long as you have a tight amount of points by the end of the festival, you actually win. So
Well, tie does go to the runner.
yeah. It's actually interesting because This game is kind of brutal in a lot of ways, so I wouldn't expect it to give you the tie, but it does for whatever reason, which is nice because there's some stuff that's just faster to lose, like this long jump here is slightly faster if you just scratch it. You don't take quite as much of a point loss in this one though compared to the 400 meter. The 400 meter, for whatever reason, when you scratch all the runs, you get 0 points and they score 20, I think it is. And in this one they only get 10, so you don't lose quite as many points. So this is a good one to lose and just save a little bit of time. Although if you're feeling really memey, you can go for the 420 feet. I believe the task gets a 420 and then a 69, which is very nice.
Ultra nice.
Now we're playing the ball game. So in this one you get a clan pod, and the clancers will come from all over the screen and just throw random nonsense at you. And there will also be rolling balls of spikes that'll come on screen, so it's a bit annoying. Luckily I don't actually have to win it, but you can get really unlucky here. I think there was one time where I got literally one white ball. Yeah, and sometimes they throw them like that. So here's the rolling spikes. Those are really annoying. Because if you like run into them, they can like stun lock you. You'll see that I've gotten one white ball and 8 red ones. And there's a second one, and it also went flying off screen. Very cool. Like I said, I don't have to win this one though, so I just sort of grab whatever. The next event is the hurdles, which is really just an awful event. It's maybe the biggest example of the geometry of the platforming just being really, really against you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to try to boost over everything. Like this section right here is just very not fun. Luckily, since I'm not playing on an actual N64 right now, I don't get the lag because there's a ton of lag in that section and it makes it very awkward to try to boost cancel. And now for the fan favorite part of the game. People seem to love this part. I'm not particularly fond of it, mostly because it shows how dumb I am, but this is math fun. So we're going to do some high-octane competitive math here. While I'm working on this, I'm going to try to start to explain the next boss. So Lunar he's riding like on a motorcycle, and the first phase, he has a couple phases that have different damage cutoffs for him. The first phase, he'll throw rockets and throw some other nonsense at you. The rockets, you can grab them, and you can shake them to make them bigger, which deals more damage. I missed. And so the idea being, you want to shake just the right amount of rockets in the first 2 sets of rockets. So each set of rockets will throw 4 at you. And you want to shake them just enough that you get past the first damage threshold and have 1 rocket left over. And you need that leftover rocket because he's going to jump over me. And when he jumps over me, I want to hit him at just the right time, and that'll lock him into his second phase, which is much, much faster than the later phases. But first, we're going to play a very fair game of dodgeball, where we can't cross the line, and we have to hit them with the ball to defeat them. We only won because we cheated, but he'll take us anyways. Alright, so I'm going to focus up a little bit here on this boss because it's a bit stressful. Perfect. So now he's locked into this phase and he'll just keep firing rockets at me. And I just continue to shake for the right amount of damage. And the last rocket here... Oh, sorry. I do want to take a bit of damage there just to skip the gold gem cutscene. Go ahead.
I was just saying, that poor kitty cat on the end of her muscle.
Yeah, it feels bad, but it had to be done for the speed. Clancer Cat's okay. He helps us in the end anyways. So that was a pretty good fight. I messed up taking damage there at the end a little bit, but in the end it all worked out. I need to take damage anyways, so I just grabbed the third rocket instead of the first rocket and work it out that way. We're going to go through another cutscene here, so if you just want to... I don't know if there are any donations or if you just want to plug the charity, now would be a really good time.
There'd be no donations, unfortunately, but we do need to plug the charity some more, because Carter will yell at me, and he will beat me, and he will tell me I'm a bad fox if I don't continue saying there's pixels for people, which helps children to have fun in the hospitals instead of just sitting around doing nothing. We have multiple incentives, polls, and prizes. I will throw up those commands now.
This is another one where he's like, he's trying to get revenge for Lunar and he wants to take me down. And this guy's like, I'm just trying to get you to kidnap the guy. Luckily, he has a lot of other Clancers working with him that'll do the trick for him. He's gonna fight back. But that's okay because this Clancer that just happens to look exactly like me wants to play hide and seek with him. And he is more than happy to oblige. It's really uncanny how much she looks like me. Okay, so the next stage, Rolling Rock. There is one type of movement that I haven't talked about, and it's sort of like a wave dash type deal. So if you jump and then press C down while holding left or right, you do like a little short dash. And it's not as fast as your regular dash, but in certain situations it's actually really useful. Usually when there's a ceiling like this. So it gets me through a little bit faster. This is also going to be the one example of an actual up warp, or an up clip. So by doing a precise grab there, I can clip through the ceiling instead of the floor. It's just a bit of awkward platforming through the rest of it. Nice. So I got the second try clip, which is pretty nice. Ideally you get it first try, obviously, but... Okay. So for this boss, I actually flipped my controller upside down because this is one where you need to mash the D-pad instead of the C-stick, and I find it easier to do that with my controller upside down with my right hand. And you have to do a specific amount of damage, because when he gets to his final hit, if you release him, he'll go into his second phase, which is a bit slower. So you actually want to do just that under that amount of damage, and then re-release him and grab him a fourth time. You can technically beat him in 3, but I'm not very consistent at it. This stage is a little bit of a mini-boss gauntlet. So there's 3 different types of Clancer transformations here. The first one is the ball. And these balls just spin around him. Okay. Okay. And the idea is you want to grab the red ones and avoid the white ones. I'm not doing a very good job of that at the moment. It's quite precise for the last couple, just because like your percentages go down on the amount you have that are red versus the amount that are white. He starts with all red, and then on the last one it's just 1 red with all white, so if you're really good at timing it, you can just grab all of them right away and throw them from underneath like I was doing at the start, but that wasn't too bad. These guys are completely random and awful because they fire off these rocks in random directions, and you need the rocks to damage them. So ideally, they just shoot them all into you right away. Worst case scenario, they do that, and you don't get in the middle at all. This is very bad luck. And then the third set. The third set are giant clan pots, and they drop a bunch of garbage on you. And these ones are very frustrating because the rocks as they fall down can also block the rocks you try to throw at them. So you have to, and they can also hit you, so get some health here. Like that, they can just block you. So these fights are just like very awkward. And there are some people that are very good at them. Like this stage is probably the biggest sign of who's like really, really legit at this game. Oh, what am I doing? Like my best time on the stage is about a 4-minute 30-second. I think it's slightly under that. It's like a 4:29 or something. But the really, really good runners can get under 4 minutes. Aw, missed the last one. That was a pretty good Clancer. Movement's been kind of sloppy as well, but it is what it is.
I mean, it's probably 9 o'clock for some of those people, you know, late night.
Oh, that was almost really good. Blocked me on like the second to last one. It was still pretty good though. Sorry if I'm not talking as much, these fights are...
I mean, it just gives me openings to say, hey, people, donate for pixels for people.
Yeah. Unlike a lot of this game where it's like pretty set in stone what you do, these fights are very dynamic. So I have to sort of go with whatever it gives me.
Kind of looks like volleyball.
Come on. It's the worst when he has like one hit left and he starts spawning gems. Alright, this is the last one. It's another one of the laser shooters. Hopefully he's a little bit nicer than the last one. That was honestly probably the worst laser shooter luck I've ever seen. Okay. That's how you hope it looks. Bad first shot, but good 2-second shots. So now we're gonna get introduced to the big baddie of the game. It's not actually a giant tablet thing. So he's gonna sort of show up and he's gonna Hadouken us. And so Marina's gonna go down for the count a little bit. So it's gonna fall on the hands of Terran, who transformed into that guy in World 1 that we used to destroy a bunch of blocks. Unfortunately, he doesn't transform in these stages, so we have to control him as a Clancer. And these stages are not very fun. You lose basically all of your movement options, and basically the only goal is to not get hit by a couple of guys throughout the stage. It's kind of a lot funner in all gold gems because there's some goofy platforming you have to do at the end of one of the stages to get the gold gem, which is kind of fun. So there's basically one stage that we'll be playing as Terran the Clancer, And then there's a boss fight where you fight against the Glancer that was disguised as you earlier. Yeah, Eggman. See, that was a 447, not the greatest time. Not the worst time, though. As long as I get under 450, I'm not too upset. You also have to double tap the D-pad to get the run here, which is definitely not my favorite mechanic in any game ever. Jump there just to dodge that laser. Now we're going to ride a tricycle for a little bit. And there is one small time save at the end of the stage where I'm going to jump off the tricycle a little bit early, and it's going to roll to its home on its own. And that allows me to skip a fanfare animation. He has a little dance that he does too. It's not as cute as Marina's, but... Oh, consistently tap the button, that's awful. And you're just going to stun lock her. I think her blowing up animation here is actually longer than the fight itself. So next we're going to be fighting, oh man, what's his name? I'm blanking. Taurus. So Taurus has 3 different attacks, sort of, that he can do. We want 2 of them. The third one is very bad. So ideally here, he will jump up and drop a bunch of rocks. That was the worst option. That's also a bad option. So I'm getting pretty unlucky here. Okay. So if he does that non-dashing punch, it's actually okay, because he takes a little bit more damage from that one than he does from the dash punch. But like I said, the best option is sometimes he'll do a big jump, and it'll cause a bunch of big rocks to fall down, and those basically one-shot him. So that was pretty unlucky. This is like the best stage in the game. It's a bunch of tight platforming while juggling items. I'm going to focus a little bit just because it's...
Well, while you're focusing, I will remind folks that Pixels for People is a charity event for children who have nothing more than a cot and maybe each other to talk to. By donating to Pixels for People, they bring entertainment systems and games to these children so that they can play and enjoy the games that we enjoy naturally. I guess I'll keep going. We got incentives, many incentives. We have Ultima 3 Exodus coming up soon with Kill Lord British from Oregon Mike, who I hope is playing in his church. We have Mega Man 10 Character Bid War. We have, what else? Metroid Dread, Late Gravity Suit. Mega Man 2 Randomizer, use the secret character. Super Castlevania 4, upgrade to hard mode. And Bucky O'Hare, upgrade to hard mode.
Bucky O'Hare hard mode is awesome, by the way.
Yes, it is. It is very much. We also have Super Metroid Save or Kill the Animals. Currently, Save is winning by $505, while Kill is only going at $20.
Bit of a difference. You can still win it, though.
I mean, yeah, we've seen that happen before.
Yeah. So this stage is not too much going on. You're just returning the King's Trike to him. Again, this is a very, very serious game. There are a few small optimizations you can do. I don't really go for them so much, but if you stop dashing right as you go over an edge, you keep a lot of momentum from the boost that you get every time you go over an edge, but you can also lose a lot of time going for that, so I just sort of boost the whole time through. Moly Cow is another boss that we're just going to sort of juggle. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I did one too many, but it's whatever. So his final attack, he has to actually damage himself, so you actually have to go one short of quote-unquote killing him, and then he has to finish himself off on the wall there. And Aster's Maze. This is one of the few instances, so the boost canceling actually works in a couple different ways. You can hold the different directions, and if you hold up, you get height. If you hold left or right, you get a little bit more distance. And if you hold down, you go down, obviously, but this is like the only scenario, really, where you would boost cancel down. It just allows you to get around some of these numbers a little bit easier. So like right here, I boost up and then down. And then here, I'm going to talk to this guy as far left as I can, walk a little bit left, and skip a dance animation there. If you're too far to the right when you do that dash jump, you'll bump into the Clancer, and for whatever reason, the screen won't scroll. So you have to go through a little cutscene there. Here, I'm going to dash right away so I can grab this rock, and then launch this missile on top of him. Take some damage, again, to skip the gold gem cutscene. And that was a good first phase. So now he's going to beast change. This is sort of what we skipped on the lunar fight. He didn't ever do his second transformation. And now we're going to suplex this robot on top of this guy. I guess it's more of a pile driver, but you get the idea. So for the first 3 sets of the pile drivers, I'm actually going to boost right, left, up, down. And that lands the robot a little bit closer to him, so he gets back on the robot a little bit faster. And then on the 4th one, I just go right, up, down, because, oh, or I'll get hit. Either way. Either way. And it's a little bit faster than going left. But again, in the first 3 phases, going left is a little bit better, just because he gets back on the mech faster. You were definitely my match, Marina. Playing on the English version, by the way, it's a little bit slower, but I really love the corny voice acting, so. Plus the cute maid robot says shake shake, and it's very, very important. I do have one more cutscene, so if there's anything else to say, or if, I don't know if anybody in chat has any questions, I can try to answer.
I have one question.
Absolutely.
What is your favorite stage?
My favorite stage is Ghost Catcher. It's really a really tough stage when you start out speedrunning, just because there's lots of tight gaps you have to get through, and you always bump into them, and it slows you down, and you lose all your momentum. And it's just like a really good sort of all the mechanics that you learn throughout running the game sort of all come into one, and when you do it smoothly, it's just like so smooth, and it feels really, really satisfying. Vertigo is another one. Vertigo feels really nice, and that one is one that you sort of, it's like a first hurdle when you're running the game, because the mechanics of the game are a little bit janky, and so Vertigo is the first stage that sort of forces you to learn them, so to say. There's also a Clan Ball Land in 1-3 is another really, really fun one to grind out ILs on.
Looks like Joe Baby 69 agrees with you on the stages that are good.
Oh yeah. Yep. So is Joey Baby a really good runner of this game? And this game has like a really high skill ceiling, so like even a lot of the stuff that I'm doing that might look really good, all of the like individual level records are even better than that. Most of the stages I'm not even close. I can count to 4, I promise.
1, 2, 4.
Yeah. This is a really annoying stage. I don't know if it's actually random. Maybe it's just because of how I dash, it feels random. Alright, so the next stage is probably the most serious stage of the game. It features you riding an ostrich, fighting a clancer, piloting a mech. Very serious stuff. I'm going to start spamming grab just to grab this first one. And then I need to time the rest, sort of. Also a very serious part here, I'm going to catch this laser that he shoots. Because we catch lasers.
Well, Goku does it.
Yeah. Oh, that was low. Weird. That was high. So I messed that up a little bit. I got kind of lucky because he threw a high one after the laser, which means you can grab it early.
Ostriches can't fly.
They can in this game. Also, the bee enemy from earlier returns. But now he is our ally, and we ride him. This is maybe the one downside to this game. I guess that's not entirely true, because the festival gets a bit annoying too when you're doing runs, but this stage is a straight-up auto-scroller, so just sort of playing around with rockets here. You can shake the rockets, and they don't get bigger in this stage, but you will get a gold gem if you shake enough of them.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your, shake. Shake your booty.
Yeah. Playing on the English version because the shake shake dialogue is very important to the plot of the game. She does make a pretty cute noise in the Japanese version as well, but it's not as good as shake shake. So this stage is I believe the only stage that I'm tied with IL on, because it's an auto scroller and you basically just have to get a frame perfect grab. It's also the only stage in the game where getting an S rank is literally frame perfect. I sort of spaced that a little bit incorrectly. If you space it just right, you can just keep throwing the spear downward. Okay, that's not good. And as long as he doesn't grab his spear, you can just keep throwing it down, and it kills him really fast. You can also get double hits with the spear. I don't think I got any there. So basically you kill him in like 4 throws down with the spear, but that fight was okay. Yeah, the obligatory, I guess it's like sort of the shmup section of the treasure game. So this stage is a little bit of a puzzle stage. They want you to do a bunch of stuff in this next room, but with some precise movement, you can actually grab these bombs before they blow up on the ground and just skip the puzzle. Now this guy, I want to grab him and then boost over the wall as quick as possible. Mess it up a little bit. You can get a quicker throw down there, like that, if you do it correctly. I missed. I did not wait for his invulnerability to end, and now I am goofing it up.
Chat distracted you.
Yeah. Not too bad, though. But yeah, basically, like, getting him against the wall gets him just far enough away that you can throw him down. Normally, you have to wait till he's on the backswing, but you can throw him on the foreswing if you push him up against the wall just right. This fight's sort of the same as the first. The first, we're just going to start to steal his shield and spear as quickly as we can. Then we're going to grab the shield. That drill blocked us from what normal strat. A little early there. Please. Please. Okay. Now he's going to beast change. We just need to grab the head and pull it down a couple times. Okay, I was not high enough there, so he went into his laser attack. We want to avoid that by staying above him. I guess I was just a little low there. Now we just need to dodge some lasers here. And now we're going to catch his missile and throw it back at him. So now we're sort of in the end of the game. Now we're going up against the evil Emperor himself. The first boss fight is going to be fighting the Emperor, and he's going to fight us by throwing bad words at us. There's not really too much that you can do to speed up the fight. It's mostly random. The biggest thing is we want to avoid any of the word bubbles that say death on them. Because most of the bubbles, basically he throws a negative word at you, and you catch it and you shake it to turn it into a positive word and you throw it back at him. And you'll see what I mean when the fight starts. But
So we have a literal curse jar now.
Yeah. But the death word, when you shake it, it turns into life, which when you throw it, turns into a green gem, which heals you instead of dealing damage to him. So we want to avoid death bubbles. That's another reason that running on English is really nice right now, because when I was running on Japanese, I just had no idea what the bubble was, and I would just grab it randomly. I was too lazy to learn. There's also a dire bubble that turns into lucky, and that's how you get the gold gem. So, enemy. I missed one. You can get really lucky. See, there's a death one, so we avoid grabbing that one. Okay, so now we've defeated the bad guy, and there's going to be a dramatic cutscene where our professor unfortunately meets his demise. And at this point, we've basically liberated the Clancer planet. And I believe, I'm not entirely up to date on the lore, because I don't watch the cutscenes that much anymore. But the final boss fight, I think it's like literally the Beast Hectors all fighting over who they all want you to join their fan club, and so they're fighting over whose fan club you're gonna join. Oh yeah, this guy's very real, very, very dead. Oh wait, oh, just kidding. He was just goofing. Very serious game, by the way.
I'm surprised no one's made the comment of Falcon! Launch!
If this fight goes as planned, there will be a Falcon kick. So the first phase, we want to do a certain amount of slams per set. So basically we're going to do 2 slams, 3 slams, 3 slams, and then 3 in a throw, and 3 in a throw. And that does just the right amount of damage to set up the second part of the fight. So one more. The next thing he's going to do is he's going to throw a rocket punch at us. And we have to throw it back at him. This is a very annoying part because his movements are very random and he can just dodge you. Luckily he didn't hear. So now he should Falcon kick me. And I can catch it in the air. Time is coming up. Time. That was a perfect fight, basically. You can get better execution, but best luck you can get, basically.
Well, congratulations and great game.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I hope everybody enjoyed the Mischief Makers. I hope the commentary was somewhat insightful, if not enjoyable. And I hope everybody continues to enjoy the runs. I know I've been enjoying the runs. That disaster, what was that called earlier today? Disaster? Disaster Day of Crisis.
That's the Day of Crisis, yeah.
Of all the games that were ever made, that was certainly one of them. And it looks like there's some other great games coming up tonight, so stick around and yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming out, and Dan, helping us extend this marathon for as long as possible so we could earn some money for Pixels and People. That is my time for all of you, and fortunately I have to go to bed and get some food in me and everything. And up next we have Ahmad, who will be taking over for restreaming, and Oregon Mike will have us Ultima 3 Exodus. So good night, everybody, and enjoy.
Bye bye.